it's it's important that you're consciously aware, but also, in a sense, subconsciously aware. And because, like I said, you'll always be subconsciously aware, but it's kind of bringing it a little bit more to the forefront. Because if you're listening to music, you might not be as acutely aware of the rhythm as you would be if you were playing music. Slightly more aware of the rhythm there. So, meditation and music are very similar, and they are also mutually beneficial. Um, for a lot of the main reason for that is because of their similarities. Meditation will help music learning, and music learning will help meditation. They are a beautiful partner for each other. And for those who have a really, really bad monkey mind, like every time they try and meditate, they have a lot of chatter going on in the back of their brain. They're like anxious about tomorrow, depressed about yesterday. They're they have a hard time with quieting themselves. Playing music is an excellent introduction to meditation, and it's honestly a hugely beneficial lifelong practice. It can help you in some of the worst times that you'll experience. Now, it's probably the best way, I'd say, if you are musically inclined especially, to approach meditation if you do have a bad monkey mind, because usually what causes monkey mind is a sense of you're not doing anything, why isn't anything happening, so your brain starts to, kind of fill in the blank space. With music, you are doing something, but you're concentrated calmly and collectedly. So you kind of have no choice but to silence everything but the music. Now, once you get, good enough, you can start to daydream while you're playing. It happens to me too. But usually you'll notice when you start to daydream, the song kind of trails off and turns into shit, and you're left with silence, right? And that's not what you want if you're playing music, obviously, unless that is scheduled silence in a song. But when it comes to music, there are two main types that you could use for the purpose of meditation. First one being improv, and the second one being scripted music. So what I mean by scripted is like music that is written down, you know the melody, everyone knows the song, like Shady Grove or something like that. Improv, as you probably guess, it's just music that you make up as you go. Now, most people would probably kind of intuitively think that improv would be the best type of music for meditation, but not necessarily. If I were to compare improv to a form of meditation and I were to compare scripted music to a form of meditation, scripted music would be like mantras, because you have a thing that has been written down by someone else that a lot of people know, and you just say it over and over and over and over again. And improv would probably be more like mindfulness, because you're just kind of taking in everything and experiencing it all at once. The difference, I'd say, with improv music is instead of taking in everything, you are also putting out everything. So like you're taking in the energy of the universe around you and transmitting it into sound, into music, as it goes, extemporaneously. And so those two, as you could probably tell, are good for different things. I'd say improv musical meditation would be good if you're trying to learn to channel, or if you're trying to learn to speak with your higher self, your guides. And scripted music would be better if you're trying to train your mind in a specific format, using much like you would use a specific mantra to put yourself into a specific frame of mind. So too would you use a certain song to put yourself in a specific state of mind. So improv, in particular, is great for Satori. That's what I was talking about earlier. So what is Satori? Satori is, as I've seen it explained, apparently it's not something that's really definable. You can't really describe it. I seem to be able to describe it, okay? But It's much more easily understood when you actually experience it yourself, because there are certain things about Satori that you just can't quite put into words. I have tried my best here, but it is a little bit more in depth than what you would glean from a piece of paper. So one person says Satori is the experience you're having right this moment, minus the false belief that the way you understand the world is the world itself, which would be considered ordinary mind. Ordinary mind being the way I understand it is the way it is. You know, I understand this instrument here as a banjo, and therefore that's what it is. But it's really not. It's not a banjo. That's just a label I've put on it. It is a bunch of wood with some metal and skin. But even that is not. It's just, it's particles. And even that, it's like, you can't label things. You just, it's the removal of the chatter and thinking and labeling and identifying and simply flowing with the natural ebb and flow like bamboo in the wind. Okay, so a similar thing to Satori is Kensho. And Kensho is another way of referring to the same thing, I would say, but it's usually a little bit less immersive than its counterpart Satori, but still valuable, because Satori is generally a more profound spiritual experience. So like if you were to have Kensho for a few seconds in a song, you know, that would be Kensho. It's just like, you know, there are a few seconds where you're just like in the moment and like in the zone. It was just you and your instrument and your music, and everything else fell away from you, and you were just experiencing the moment. That would be like Kensho. Satori would be like if you were having a half-hour long session, and almost, if not all of that session, was this deep, immersive, spiritually enriching experience that had no time and no space. It was just existence with music, basically, you know? No thought, no chatter, no labeling, no worrying or wondering. It was just being in the zone, streamlined, like tunnel vision. So why would it be useful to experience something like that? Why would it be useful for anyone to get used to having that kind of mindset? Because when you're in that mindset, it's very difficult to really make a mistake at what you're doing. It makes you very focused. It makes you, it gives you a very good and concrete understanding of the true nature of things. I'm not a Buddhist, but I do believe strongly that the material world, while valuable and sacred, is inherently the byproduct of consciousness. So yes, it's important that we give labels to certain things so that we can relate to the world around us, but it's also equally as important to understand the true nature of things, because when we understand the true nature of things, we can more easily change them, we can more easily accept them, and we can more easily, well, I think that's about it, to be honest. But those are it's the same reason you would try to meditate in any other method. I just think music is particularly handy because it gets you into that immersive Satori-like one-minded experience very quickly and without much effort, really. You just kind of have to zone out, and then suddenly you've been playing for half an hour when it feels like 5 minutes. You know, it's a very, very beneficial way to train your mind. And it's helped me in work, it's helped me with friends and people. It helps you with patience and stability, especially when you are working, like spiritually working. If you can get used to having that one-mindedness, spells come so easily. And I don't really worship much per se, sometimes I do, but like when you're meditating upon a divinity, it's a lot easier to hold the respectful, one-minded concentration for them, or it's a lot easier to hold that for them if you're used to putting yourself in that state of mind. So anyway, that is basically what I have to say today. And later on, I'm going to be starting some music lessons so that I can perhaps enable some people to experiment with music, playing music as a form of meditation. So until next time, thank you for watching, and